Bubser.
And Auburn.
And this segment we like to call Bubser Games presents Flea Market Finds. Today what we're going to do is we're going to have 5 different games that we found at a board game flea market. And
For cheap.
For cheap. And we're going to let you know what we think of it. All right. First on our list, Monopoly Deal.
Now, Monopoly Deal. This is a fast-paced, addictive card game where your luck can change in the play of a card. Collect 3 complete property sets, but beware debt collectors, forced deals, and the dreaded deal breakers, which could change your fortunes at any time.
Wait, hold on, don't go away.
Yeah,
I know what you're thinking. It's Monopoly. I'm going to just go ahead and skip this video. But wait, it's Monopoly Deal.
Did I read this correctly? There's no way I've read this correctly. It says this game takes 15 minutes on the box.
If that, honestly, I know what you're thinking. It's still Monopoly. However, I got this game for $1. $1 at a flea market find. I was still going to pass it up until I talked with a couple of my friends who have this game, amazingly enough, and they said, you know what, it's actually kind of fun. And I was like, is that possible?
With Monopoly?
But
for $2, it's worth a gamble.
Yeah, and I got it for $1, so
yeah,
it's definitely worth a gamble. So still in shrink and everything, so I got it, I brought it out. We teach high school, so I had a board game club last year. I brought it out. I asked the kids, hey, you want to play this? And they were like, but Mr. Young, it's Monopoly. I thought you had a dead set no Monopoly rule. And I said, you know what, let's try it out. We played it, and it was not bad.
It's basically a set building card game. But it's Monopoly themed. You've got your house, your properties, right? You've got some wild cards. You've got your actions where you can pass go and collect rent, build a house or build a hotel. But then you've also got what they were referring to on this as the deal breaker. The objective is to have 3 sets of the same property, or 3 monopolies, if you will. But the deal breaker allows somebody to steal yours, or you can steal somebody else's.
So it definitely has a little bit of take that. The high school students that I played with, they enjoyed it. We played it numerous times. So our first game, Monopoly Deal. I paid $1. You usually find these at flea markets and virtual flea markets for $5 or less. There's not that many people that will bid on it. So in fact, I think the guy was selling it for $3, and I would said, I'll give you $1, and he accepted.
Flea markets are great for that. I probably wouldn't pay more than $2 for this game, but for $2, I think this is a decent 15-minute, 10-minute filler game.
Yeah. All right, our next game that is a flea market find, Saboteur. Now, I actually own 2 copies of this, one that I paid full price for, and then this one, which I got for $5. No, I actually got this for $2. At a flea market that was going on at a friendly local game store that was having a big blowout, let's get rid of product type deal. And in Saboteur, are you familiar with Saboteur?
I'm familiar with Saboteur.
In Saboteur, you know what? Why don't you give us a little...
All right, Saboteur. Is this the game where you and your fellow dwarves are digging for gold in a maze of mining tunnels? But beware, some of the miners are saboteurs trying to foil your efforts and steal your hard-earned gold. And there's nothing that dwarf hates more than having his gold stolen. To find the mother lode, you must overcome cave-ins, broken lanterns, and busted pickaxes. In the end, the dwarf with the most gold nuggets wins.
So a quick summary of what this game's all about. Somebody is the hidden trader, okay? And it could actually be a couple people, depending on how many you have. You can actually play 8 people up to this, I believe. And you have these cards where you're building tunnels, and you're trying to get to 3 different cards. One of them is gold. And you have some tools along the way, like this map that you can play. This map allows you to look at one of the 3 end gold cards. And if it's the gold, you tell everybody, hey, it's the gold. And if you're the saboteur, you say, that's not the gold. And so you dig and so this is how the saboteur wins. You run out of cards, everyone runs out of cards, and they never made it to the gold. What's the gold? And so here's the deal. I will tell you this in a little game hint. If you're the saboteur, go ahead and make that big move. Because if you're trying to, I'm going to hide so people don't know my true identity, you're going to lose.
You've got to do something.
Right. And then when everybody gets points except you, they'll figure out that you're the saboteur, and they will also say, you're not very good at this. So if you're the saboteur, yeah, it's not that big of a deal to be found out. It reminds me of Bang, the dice game, right? You know how in Bang, the dice game, if you're familiar with that, if you're the outlaw, you got to just start shooting that sheriff. Oh, they're the outlaw. Who cares? Who cares that you know who I am?
Because
I'm doing my job.
That's right. You can't meet the objective if you don't do what you're supposed to. And I know sometimes when you play these hidden role games, you're like, well, what if they find me out? Like in Saboteur, if you look at the gold and you're like, oh, this is the gold. No, this wasn't the gold. But then somebody else double checks and looks at it and says, this is the gold. You're the saboteur. And you're like, no, I'm not the saboteur. You're lying. That's totally not the gold. You're the saboteur.
So you're causing some doubt. I've actually played with my high school students, and one of the students picks it up, looks at the gold, puts it back down, and says, yes, that's the gold. And then later on, we found out he was the saboteur, and I was like, why did you say that it was the gold? And he's like, well, I figured someone else would check, and then I would be found out. And I was like, you've lost.
Yeah.
And then I said, you're not very good at this. All right. So anyway,
so
that's
Saboteur.
Saboteur. I paid $5 for that.
I think that's a good price.
Actually really, really in pristine condition. I see this all the time on virtual flea markets and regular flea markets. $5. That's a decent price.
I agree. It's fun, and it's unique enough that each time you play, it's a little bit different.
Right now, if you like that sort of game, it's actually I bought it at full price, and then I got this as a backup copy, or maybe to make a big gigantic,
those are
saboteurs with a ton of different students. And so yeah, definitely worth $5. If you find it at a flea market for $5 or less, I'd pick it up.
Yeah.
All right, our next game is the game of things. Have you played this game?
I have played this game.
Have you played Say Anything? If the answer is yes, then
you've played this game.
Right? Because this is the same game as Say Anything.
It's just a less expensive version.
It's definitely a less expensive version. Now you can pay, I think this is like $12, $15 at Target or Walmart or something like that, brand new. So you should be able to find this game for $5 or less. I think I offered $2, maybe $3 at the most for this game. Simply because, once again, we have a board game club at our high school, and this goes over very well. Now, the game of Say Anything comes with the whiteboards, comes with the whiteboard markers. Well, like I said, there's a big giant whiteboard behind me, so I got a lot of whiteboard markers, and I have actually small whiteboards. So here's an idea.
But you can use Post-it notes or anything.
Right, yeah, you can use whatever.
It's just like Say Anything. They'll give you a card, and this one says, things that get too crowded.
I would say a Japanese subway. I'd write that down.
New York during Times Square during New Year's, right?
Right.
And so that's it.
Everybody writes it down, puts one in the middle. Whoever the judge is, they pick one. It's very like apples to apples, right?
Without the preset cards, it allows you to write down whatever you want.
Good. So, say anything. Okay, so that's it.
Yeah.
Right. Again, I pay $5 or less.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree. I'm not a huge fan of that type. I would probably pay $2.
Well,
but it's in the nice hard case though. It's not flimsy paperboard. It's a decent case.
I think it does wear out its welcome pretty quickly, right? But let's say you are struggling. Everybody's played the games that you've already played. It's for my high school game club. It's a great, refreshing way. I wouldn't play it every week, but it's a good half hour worth of entertainment for $5. It's not bad. Yeah. And then we break it out every once in a while. As far as a game night goes, it's definitely a filler.
Yeah. Right?
While you're waiting for the other game to get over with, and you got 4 or 5 guys here,
that makes sense.
Like, hey, let's play a few rounds of this. I guarantee there's going to be some laughs.
Absolutely.
Right? I guarantee that you'll have a good time. All right.
Hey, thanks for watching Flea Market Finds Part 1. If you want to watch the rest, Part 2 is already up. And if you want to find your own flea market finds, check out Day of Games.